Hi everyone, it's Margaret here. This year for me has been a real year of dealing with being older, of aging. I've had a couple of medical situations and it's just reminded me, that I'm getting older. Now, when I started 60andMe, I was 64. I had been 59 for a few years and I had a really difficult time making that leap to 60. And it's kind of what got 60andMe started. But the reason I mention it is because I was working in a very young culture. I was working at Microsoft and Siemens, and they actually had unspoken rules about aging, and that as you got older, your currency in the company got less valuable. You were not seen as a person that was going to help someone move up and onward. That you may be a nice person and very educated and knowledgeable, but you were just not. Your currency for the company did not have the same power. So being young was really important for me in the workplace. And I think that's what held me back so much. It wasn't that I was always trying to be younger than other people or pretend that I was younger. I just felt that 60 was just too much of a boundary. And also I was married to someone who was quite a bit younger than me, 13 years younger. So I think all of my adult life, really, I'd been thinking about being young, and fight aging like it's some kind of a battle. This anti-aging creams, age-defying whatever, makeup, and this messaging like, don't get old, do not get old. Because people won't value as much, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose, what's the word, validity and currency in the workplace. It's just been for me anyway, personally, a lifelong message. Don't get old, because it's going to have some impact. Maybe the same with you. Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe you joined 60andMe for that reason, because, you also are having a difficult time just, following the process and having this myth instilled in you that you have to remain young and everything you have to do. Now, it may be that our culture is very youth focused, driven by brands, driven by advertising. And if there are any brands watching this, please stop. Because women in their 60s and 70s have some money to spend, and we want products that you are selling, but we want them to look like things that we will wear. Like, for example, I love cargo pants, but every single pair of cargo pants because I like putting things in my pockets. and every single pair that I've ever looked at is low-waisted, very tight, and I just want nice, comfortable, not baggy, but comfortable with a high waist maybe, so that my body, my changing body, can feel good in those things. In cosmetics, I love cosmetics, I do, and I wear makeup every day, and I really enjoy it. But there are things that I just simply, well, number one, don't want to pay a lot for, but number two, they're just not right for my skin, for my skin or my aging face. And I have to be thoughtful about what I use and how I use it. But I just wish that companies would be a little bit more sensitive to that. Like, for example, L'Oreal, bless them, they actually reached out to me. They like the fact that I was talking to a lot of older women. They know that's a demographic for them. But if you could find a picture of an older woman in their advertising, you'd be very, very fortunate. It just isn't there. So they approached me and they wanted me to, look at some of their products and talk to you about them. And I said, well, I'd be happy to do that, but not in a kind of, cartoonish way, like here's the lipstick, here's the cream. I would have to try it. And I couldn't do it in a 1-minute video, like buy this product and be cool, be young, look wonderful. It was just not my style. And so I declined that offer to work with them. They were very sweet and they understood, but their model for measurement was number of views on Instagram, number of hits on TikTok. They just didn't want someone to sit down and actually talk about the creams. Not that they didn't believe in them, but that wasn't their model. So anyway, I mention these things because we're under a lot of pressure, and I think the aging stereotypes that we deal with every single day, and even that we serve ourselves, like, oh, I'm too old to ... Oh, I can't do that at my age. You're following the narrative that's saying you don't want to get old. And I think as soon as we can start, redefining that and pushing back on it, the better, personally. So there is, a tenderness about aging and a compassion and an empathy, which I think the world needs. This is just my point of view. I'm not looking back and saying, because I'm an older woman, I should have more value or less value. No, I mean, just that every wrinkle on my face tells a story. Every gray hair is like a little thread of experience, that's woven this hair. I mean, yes, I color it, but I pretty much leave it go now because the front part is the same color almost, and I'm not as stressed about it. So that's one little thing I do. But we don't need to stay young. We just need to stay real. Real women with all the complexity of age that comes. When you've gone through a life where you've had incredible loss, where you've had incredible disappointment, where you've had incredible joy. You've had the opportunity to even welcome grandkids into the world from the children that you gave birth to. It's really an amazing life. And when you look at that creates an authenticity. I actually don't like that word very much. It just sounds so phony, but it is a depth and a reality that is that's unique and it's beautiful. I always say this when I do these videos. I think it's changing, and it is in a way. But whenever I look at the channels like even Facebook and Instagram, they're just loaded with ads for anti-gravity, anti-aging, and no one's talking about positive aging. Very, very few. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say here. So let's change the narrative, okay? Let's change it, because I think we can start with us. Okay, so we can start by talking to ourselves about, don't chase youth as if it's some kind of a prize that we have to capture. Just embrace the fact that you're here. Beauty is not, running away from you. It's not escaping. It's not changing. It's evolving with you. You're not disappearing because you're getting older. You're just taking a new shape. You're popping into vision in a different way. And I'm so proud of so many of you for doing this, because I know how hard it was for me, and I'm sure for you too, to just say, I don't care about aging anymore. This is not, it doesn't matter. I'm transforming and doing all these wonderful, I'm growing a new value system, whatever. I think that's, important that we accept where we are. I sound like a broken record. What do you think? What do you think about this? Do you think that you're evolving now to the point where you aren't chasing youth, where you don't see it as some kind of a prize that you have to capture, like the gold, the gold hair that's like doing its thing? They're very unique, these hairs. They kind of like have a personality. They're rubbing my nose. But anyway, I just feel like it's important for us to talk to each other about this and give each other strength. Hold hands. Should we do that? How you carry yourself, how you love, how you dress, how you talk, how you share, love, all those things. Speak the language of beauty. And that's what I think we should be worrying about. And they speak the beauty of youth in the sense that it's fresh and it's new. So look, you don't need to stay young. You just have to stay honest, awake, curious, and compassionate, all the C's, creative, caring. And there's more to life than worrying about how old you are, for goodness sake. There's definitely more. But having said that, I do think, to close on this, that I think women, older women, are more valuable than ever in turbulent times. I think when we're facing challenges in the world, we have more to offer, more experience and perspective. And I hope there can be a dialogue between older and younger people here as we push into this next generation, because it's changing really, really fast. And I think not just the political situations around the world, but the actual technology, artificial intelligence, how that's all coming on so fast, and how maybe that will do something about, just erasing these boundaries, because we'll all be capable of everything. It'll erase some of the aging stereotypes. But for now, let's do what we can to talk to our grandkids about it, or talk to our friends, engage with others, that we're not fighting an aging battle. We're just trying to bring out the best in ourselves and evolve as beautiful human beings. What do you think? Can we do it together? Deal. All right, so have a wonderful day. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon. We've got a very cool thing going on over there. It's called Community Chats. There are little chat rooms where you can join in and have conversations with other people 24/7. It's a really nice channel. We're just evolving it, and there's going to be some interesting news coming about what might be included with that. I can't tell you yet because I don't know if it's confirmed or even technically possible, but we're working on making that a really cool destination for conversation, 24/7, and on all different topics, not just one-dimensional. Hobbies, pets, travel, food, all that kind of stuff. So check it out on patreon.com. It's the $10 a month status level community pages, and we'd love to have you join us there. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so all that for now. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Stay young at heart, but not young in obsession, okay? Take care, everyone.